Hey guys, welcome back to Girls Frontline 2. In today's video, we're checking out an updated tier list from Pridewin. We're going to check out the global updated tier list with some changes, but then also there's one change that I want to look at on the CN tier list because that is an important one as well. So if we jump up here, they do have their change log. As you can see, we've got the global tier list. Makiatto was added to the S ranking. Papasha added with the B tier ranking. Ksenia has been moved from sustain to amplifier category. Her buffs are the reason you bring her to the battle, and her healing is secondary, so we decided to move her. That makes complete sense. When you use Ksenia, she only heals in a pinch. She needs other defensive support if it's on a hard stage. Otherwise, her healing isn't enough because she can't even do it every turn. It's not one of those passive heals, so that definitely makes sense to me, but she is still a fantastic unit. Sharkry, this one is a change that I definitely think we needed. Going from B to A, even at V0, Sharkry proved to be way stronger in the global server than what we anticipated, and is commonly used in various content, so we're raising her up. I think she is the best of the rest when we look at it, which we'll take a look at in a sec. And then Mosin dropping from A to B. With the release of Makiatto, we're getting a much stronger sniper, essentially, so she is getting relegated down a little bit based on that. But let's go ahead and take a look quickly over here at the global tier list and the way it is shaping up. So Suomi, the only S+ tier character, she is just an amazing support. Her shields are just absolutely stupid, along with the rest of the utility that she brings to the game. She is leaving soon, so if you haven't got a copy of her, I would still recommend pulling a copy. But if you're just saving for waifus and stuff like that, well, you're going to do what you're going to do anyway. But I definitely think Suomi is one of the most vital parts to pull as a free-to-play player early on, just to have on your roster, because this is like when you try playing without Suomi versus with Suomi, it's ridiculous. Even if she is the only sustainer you have in your team, you have no other healers. Even when she's at V0, I mean, V1, she gets a really good chunky 30% heal based on her max HP for everyone, which is solid with her ultimate, along with damage, along with debuffs, along with the shielding. Like, she is insane. But at V0, she is still perfectly fine. I am probably not going to get the dupe on mine. I'll make a video talking about that. But in general, just getting Suomi at any stage is going to be very beneficial to your account. Now, as we move into the next three, we have Makiatto, QJ, and Tololo holding up the S tier in DPS rankings. Now, that's pretty much the way I see it currently. These are all fantastic. Now, just note, QJ does have really good synergies with Makiatto as well, because the way Makiatto works with her, it's not a revenge, it's like a preemptive revenge counterattack type thing. So if you look at the way someone like Groza works, where when an enemy attacks, then Groza, after they attack, Groza will attack. The thing about Makiatto is, as long as she's got her ice barrier and alert up, 2 times, this is for V0, 2 times per battle, when an enemy goes to attack, so before they actually attack, she will preemptively attack them. And so that's the big difference between Groza and her. She does it before they attack, whereas Groza does it after they attack. And this also does proc QJ to go ahead and use her support as well. So quite often, if they're weaker-ish enemies, the first 2 to attack, as long as they're in range of both Makiatto and QJ, they're going to be dead in a lot of stages. Obviously, and once you get to bossing, well, then you've just got good damage from both of these characters raining in as well. So they're going to have good synergies together as well, but in their own right, they're both still absolutely fantastic characters. Like I said, Makiatto with that ability to attack before they attack, deleting threats, is absolutely fantastic, but you will be able to use these two together. QJ, I think enough people know about QJ and why QJ is so good in the game in the current state. Those supportive attacks are ridiculous. Once we do get the mod key for her as well to turn her support attacks into burn damage, she'll get even better as well. If you get her to V3, like I'm now saving my standard banner summons until we get the rate up selector. I'll put her on rate up. I'll get her from my selector at 260 pulls. And that'll take me, we'll see if I can win the first 50-50 when we get the rate up selector. We'll have to see, expected for February. Then we'll be at V2. We only need one more copy. Then we go into the V3 range. And then she starts applying the overburn, which is going to proc Sharkry as well. There's just a lot of good synergies. She's a fantastic free-to-play character to be on the standard banner. And then we have Tololo. Now, Tololo is another fantastic character on the standard banner. Her ability to get extra turns turns is absolutely fantastic. And in the current state of global, she is a really strong character because we don't have too many other DPS that sort of rank up with her besides these two up here. Now, with that, she does have, I don't know if they have it in here. If we go into, there should be, do they have the mod key? Common key, no. Neural Helix, I'm not too sure. Let me find it. Okay, I might just be blind because I couldn't see it on the database, but this is her new mod key over in the CN version. Once again, it's kind of sketchy trying to predict stuff because we know the kind of stuff that's coming based on CN, but we don't know when it's going to be coming. We don't have mod keys at the moment, but this is just to note why she got a boost up over in the CN version. She gains 2 points, and this is her mod key, gains 2 points of Confectance Index after using an active skill. When allied units, excluding herself, deal hydro damage, reduces the cooldown of the active skill Black Hole Inversion by 1 turn. So this extra Confectance points generation allows her to take advantage of her extra turn more frequently, which then just makes her do more damage because she's getting to the point of full index faster, which means she's spending all that index to take an extra turn, and away she goes. So she just starts churning out the damage now with this mod key. So we'll have to wait and see. Once again, we don't know when and if this is coming to global. I would think it's more of a matter of when, but you know, it's only just come out on CN, so it could be a very long way away. But it's just something to keep in mind when we start looking at it and Tololo. Now, Lotta is still a fantastic unit. In any AoE situation, Lotta is just absolutely amazing. At the moment, I do think Lotta is a better AoE damage dealer than Priya. Priya takes too long to get online. Obviously, later on with new characters, she will get moved right up the meta, but for now, she is kind of out of it. And Lotta, I mean, just being able to do that massive AoE and then just refill your gauge and then go again and do it again is pretty fantastic. And then in a pinch towards the end of a battle, you can just use her big AoE into her other AoE, and GG's, you got it pretty much covered. So she is an absolute AoE beast. Plus we do have her maxed out, and we have her weapon maxed out, which adds some extra value onto her. This, I believe, should be considered at V6 because she is a V6 character for free to play, and that's pretty much where everyone's at. Sharkri, as I mentioned, coming up. Sharkri is just that best of the rest damage dealer compared to these guys. She still works really well. Once again, when we look at tier lists, I always like to say, like, consider teams because Krolik is one of my favorite characters in the game. Her mobility and her synergies with Sharkri make her an absolutely like a diabolical free-to-play combo with Sharkri. So if Sharkri is one of your DPS in one of your teams, because we are at the state where we need multiple teams, then if she is your main DPS, then unless you got like a, you know, massively duped QJ or something like that, if you are using her as one of your main DPS, then Krolik is just a fantastic partner for her. It just gives you more access into Sharkri using her supportive attacks. And plus, honestly, Krolik's not too bad on damage. It's just that Krolik, outside of the Sharkri combo, I don't think I would ever bring her. And that's why she sits down there in D tier. But like when you look at combo capacity, absolutely fantastic. Ksenia, especially in burn teams, absolutely amazing. Like I mentioned before, it's more about her her supportive, her buffing capabilities, damage amplification, also being able to break enemies faster with burn damage. She's fantastic for that, and she gets there. Sabrina, actually, now that I've started playing more PvP, Sabrina is super annoying to deal with in PvP. I hate coming up against Sabrinas in PvP. Because they're chunky, they just walk in, they slow you down. It's like, oh, dude, this is just a nightmare. But Sabrina, once again, still there as a great general tanking unit. Just overall, just a really, really solid tank. It does have the great synergy with Tololo of dealing the hydro damage as well, which is a good synergy. And then we move on to the rest. Papasha, just based on the CN version, she doesn't see too much use. She's a bit clunky from what I've heard. I have not personally played her too much, but shout out to the team at Pridewin for doing the research and playing them and testing them on the CN version for this. But yeah, I think it's just like with her robot and stuff, it's just a bit too clunky to be a, you know, higher tier unit, plus lacking damage output and stuff like that. But that is pretty much everything that I wanted to go through. The rest of it's pretty standard. I still use Groza a heap. I just think she's a fantastic unit for free to play early on, and especially when we look at the current boss battles and stuff like that. When you know you're trying to conserve as much stability as possible, she is great at that. She's great at tanking as many hits and also holding her stability up. Considering you have a lot of effects with the boss that depend on your stability when your stability is low, and she can just hold it up high, take reduced stability, and just tank it really well. And then obviously we've got Kalfni, who's just good dedicated healer. Cheetah, who is buffer, but more, I feel like Cheetah is more of a healer than Ksenia because she can just passively heal all the time. Whereas Ksenia, you really got to do a trade-off for it. So that is the way I look at it. Ulrid, I think Ulrid's would be amazing in PvP. I wish I did get a copy of her, but unfortunately, the RNG didn't pave the way for me, and now I've got to save for Makiatto, so it is what it is. But that is a look at the updated tier list over here on Pridewin. Let me know what you guys think, and also let me know, are you going to be pulling for Makiatto? And as always, thanks for watching. Hope you have an awesome day. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Cheers.